Wessel's been witted a bit. Me cross the string real quick. Alright, sorry for the long period of data, ladies and gentlemen, but it looks like we're going to be getting underway shortly. 19 drivers will be coming into our first round of qualifying here at Netherlands, known as Zandvoort. Now, Zandvoort circuit once upon a time held a lot of Formula 1 races way back in the day. However, this was a track that, along with the likes of Brands Hatch and Fuji, eventually the cars outgrew the circuit. To try and compensate for that problem, though, and to capitalize on the appeal of Formula 1 in the Netherlands, throughout the year 2019 and ending at the very start of 2020, there was significant repaving and remodeling done for the circuit. Now, the track, for the most part, has kept most of its characteristics, but there are now some very high banked corners. There are two of them, in fact. Corners that have a significant amount of banking, almost on the level of NASCAR races. Now, Formula 1 itself in real life has yet to actually attend this racetrack. It was scheduled to be run this year, but due to the Cheese Touch pandemic, I'm not going to say the full thing just in case when this goes to YouTube it doesn't get demonetized. When the Cheese Touch pandemic started hitting about this year, this race got scrapped from the calendar, sadly. Even though, honestly, it could have really squeezed this in either way. But we're going to be looking at an interesting event because some of these drivers have only done a little bit of practice in the weeks leading up to it. So this is going to be really fresh. There's no real-life racing to go and take a look off of to see what the ideal racing line is. We won't really know what the ideal tire compounds are, nothing like that. But qualifying at least looks like it's going to be nice, bright, and dry here. So I myself am extremely hyped and anticipated for this event. As I said, 19 drivers here will be coming to the line, and Q1 is already underway. We're about 20 seconds into it. Sasha Andre is right now our top one on our board, and let me set up the and there we are. We have one of the Racing Point cars already coming out, and there you are, following with, I believe that was an AlphaTauri. So here we are, Hazel in that pink Racing Point Force India machine is the first one to go. And again, right off the bat, you can see how undulating up and down all over this course is. It reminds me a little bit of Mid-Ohio in the States with how many up and downhill sections there are. There's not a whole lot of blatant passing opportunities, not just for Formula 1 cars, but for any kind of car racing here. But it's a very, very technical circuit. It's going to be one that's going to demand a lot out of the drivers, and for those people who actually have racing wheels set up that they're going to be using, I can imagine they're going to be more than a little bit exhausted by the time this ends. Very nice, very picturesque shots all the way throughout the circuit here. now goes into Sector 3, and here we go into the banked corners. You come flying out, and that banked corner, that final corner having so much banking, artificially lengthens the straightaway, meaning that the DRS zone actually ends up being significantly longer, and there's a lot more chance of actual overtaking occurring. So, personal opinion, that was probably one of the better ideas that Formula 1 has had when it comes to track design. Here's the other banked corner. However, with that said, though, it's going to be interesting to see how that ends up wearing on the tires. And again, real life F1 isn't going to be in the exact same way that F1 2020 is going to be. Obviously, game engine, you're going to have to take some liberties trying to compress, you know, real life data and stuff like that into the actual, into a game. You can't just copy physics from real life one-to-one. There are going to be some concessions made, but I do still think it's going to be extremely interesting because for the most part, we're looking at a scenario where no one really knows what's going to come out. Anyways, Hazel was the first driver out on the circuit. There's a yellow flag up ahead. I'm not up ahead, out there in Sector 1. And it looks like Fratters has had something happen to that car. So Fratters seems to be out before we even get one lap in, or one clean lap in for him. Hazel goes to the top of the board with a 110.800, and he is now joined by Minay C. Sasha. I'm just going to call him Sasha, and Sasha is around. Sasha loops it out, turn number 1, and there's an XRL Snakes coming right by, almost runs into him, and now we got another one. I think that's Devil coming up. Devil and the Renault's going to miss him. But we saw that right here. Sasha looped the AlphaTauri coming out of that first corner. Not where you want to start the day out with. He gets one lap in, 1:11.376, and immediately starts putting bad wear on the tires. Now it looks like Renault's going to pull over, so that way he's not going to be in the way. Devil actually ends up in the dirt for a brief moment. He's a little bit slow, but Fratters has already left the session apparently. I imagine he will try to join back in once qualifying is over. Garbly did not see what happened to Fratters, but not even a single lap completed under qualifying. Not a single lap completed, and that's really going to hurt because one of the advantages of having Q1, Q2, Q3 is that, and here we are, Devil's going to pull over again here to let more drivers by. It's so hard trying to get clean track here, and we don't even have the entire field out on the circuit yet, and it's so difficult trying to find clean air to where you're not being harmed by other drivers, you're not being harmed yourself here. This here's XRL Mon, one of the two Mercedes cars. The Mercedes team has absolutely blown the field away when we were watching them the other week, just last week, in China, but now here we are back in Europe. And it's a significantly different type of track. They're both very technically challenging, but in different ways. China was a much flatter circuit. It still had some up and downhill elevation, but China also had a lot of straight line speed where you could take advantage of the pure engine power that the Mercedes have. And yes, that's still going to be important here, but it's not going to be nearly as important. And XRL Mon goes up on the board with 1:13.517. Hazel's still on top with a 1:10.8, and Gusty is really close, just 61 thousandths out from him. And here's Iridicia. You can ride on board here, you can just see how powerful that banking is. They come zooming off right down the straightaway. Iridicia, he's going to start his first lap now. He's one of two cars that are on the medium compounds, and he's going to be joined by XRL Giselio in the Red Bull, as he is now beginning to come out onto the circuit. So already we've seen quite a bit of chaos here, and just look at that. XRL Whippy seems to have left the session, so it seems like drivers are having trouble sticking with it, because Whippy, I don't think, has even set a lap time yet. It says he hasn't. So we may see the bottom quarter of the field set up just by who dropped out first or last. And you see Kyoto pulls over, and you can just see how aggressive and abusive this car is. It's almost like a roller coaster trying to run these high-performance machines around the circuit here. DRS open here down this little straight. heavy under braking, right over the rumble strips. Almost the entire car goes right over it. Then you put the power back down, and that's going to be a nice run. It's going to be a slightly banked 90-degree corner. You get out of the throttle, you put the throttle down, and here we are, the high banked corner, banked similarly to the Homestead Miami Speedway circuit that NASCAR uses. Zelio is now starting his first outright lap. Now, Iridisa, the other guy who was on the medium tire compounds, he has gone up to 4th right now, 1:10.659, and just ahead of him on the timesheets is XRL Mon, 1:10.644. So the Mercedes are showing some strength, but there's a really nice part here. This is XRL Cargo. He set a lap time earlier, 1:10.603, as he's coming into the pits in the Alfa Romeo. But he is 2nd right now on the boards. Now, someone seems to be slow on the circuit. The front straightaway went yellow for a brief second, but it looks like one of the Renaults have gone ahead and pulled into the circuit here as we watch Cargo being brought in as they update the car and get it ready for the next round. Here's XRL Jono. He is yet to set a time on this lap. I believe if he can keep it clean, this will be a lap that he'll do it at. Is a incident with one of, I believe that was XRL Stumpy back there. Yes, there's Stumpy. In the Williams, he's gone off circuit just for a second, and he's already back on it, but there is XRL Cookie who is completely off the track there, and he's just outside the racing line, and one of the Williams has to swerve to avoid him. I'm not sure what happened there. But XRL Jono has now set his lap time, 1:11.561. So of our 19 drivers, 15 have set a lap time. Frathers is not going anywhere. It seems like the car was totaled before he even got out there. So Stumpy, Cookie, and Whippy, who are all on their outlaps right now, have yet to set their times, and then it's going to be the run to see who can improve the most. The gap between 1st and 2nd is roughly a 1/3 of a second in times right now, so it's going to be extremely interesting to see what can do it. Now, the real interesting part, to me at least, is Iridisa and Gisilio both running very similar times on the medium tire compounds. They're both within the 1:10 mark, so I imagine that the difference between soft and medium compound tires might not be too much. It gets, oh, and we see a little bit of a lockup there from Jono. But as we see cars having to constantly pull over and give way and give space so they can get some clean track, we may see an event here where running medium compound tires in Q1 and Q2 might be a better idea because you can stay out there longer and you can have more attempts to go for lap time, as Jono is now going to pull onto the circuit. And here's XRL Whippy. He's going to be whippying it around the final corner here, full throttle down, and he's going to start his first time lap here. XRL Stumpy has already run 2 laps, but he has yet to get one that will be clean and will go onto the boards. 1:12 is the time he has to, 1:12.855 is the time he needs to get to if he wants to at least go up to 15. But to get to Q2, and that should be Q2 if memory serves correctly. So it's going to be interesting to see if Stumpy can make anything happen here. Iridisa has climbed up the ladder just a little bit. The timesheets, he is now running at 1:10.577. As Williams comes down here, Stumpy right down across the line, jumps into 12th, 1:11.561. So excellent job to Stumpy there. And here is Whippy. He's going to be coming around, and here's Cookie out of the final corner. And he had a little bit of help from the draft, I think. Cookie is not going to get that lap down. It was not a good lap, and he actually cuts the rumble strip there in turn 1, and that might have upset the barge board on that car. He really lost a lot of speed there. So Cookie is back underway now, but that's going to hurt him. And there's 7 minutes left. There's still time. And assuming the guys up front aren't going to spend a whole lot of time going out there to try and perfect, he gets the Ferrari just a little bit sideways there, but he may not have too much to worry about here when it comes to staying a decent time. Now, staying a time that will give him the next round, that's a slightly bigger question, but a decent time seems to be a lock for him. Whippy has set his time. It was a 1:12.527. That's not going to be good enough to take him to Q2 yet, though. There is still a few minutes left, and he's still relatively new on these soft compound tires here. Runs a little bit wide, drops the left side tires in the dirt for just a brief second here. You can just see how abusive and aggressive they are. And that's XRL Turbo, who is slow on his outlap, trying to very cautiously monitor back onto the racetrack. It's a very, very tight circuit in basically every way imaginable. Even by European standards, it's very tight. Forward and up ahead, you see a Williams, and that is... Oh, that's going to hurt him. He caught Sasha there in the AlphaTauri just at the wrong time. Just at the wrong time, because he basically ended up taking away the ideal line from the session run, and Iridisa has retired from the session, so he will not continue to put any more time down. Third on the timesheets in a medium tire compound. That's very interesting indeed. Here's Turbo. I don't think this lap is going to be important for Turbo. And he already has his line time down, 1:12.855, but that's not going to be enough to improve. And no, that lap time does not go down for him. And here's the other thing, XRL Cookie, he's in the pit lane. He has yet to make a lap, and there's only 5 minutes left in the session. When he gets out there, he's going to have to just bloody fly here. He's the only driver left who has not set a time yet. And here we are, XRL Snake is going to come back onto the circuit. He is 14th on the timesheets right now, 1:11.676. There's almost a full second between himself and Smish, who's 15th right now. But he seems to think that he can move farther up the order. His teammate XRL Dono has the inside line here, and we might see some DRS shenanigans. No, it looks like Dono's going to try and give him room. But even with Dono intentionally trying to give Snake room, it's still really, really tight all around the circuit. It's hard to find a place where you can just give the spot to someone else, let alone seize the initiative. My personal thoughts is that for the upper about 6 or 7 spots, everything's going to come down to where you were in qualifying. Here's Cookie. He's on his outlap right now. And XRL Turbo seems to be a little bit slow over here. And here we are. XRL Dono following his teammate XRL Snake. Oh, and it looks like Yono's actually cut the inside dirt just a little bit. Yono's going to go ahead and pull in. But Snake, his lap is in. Now it's time for him to set another flyer. He has 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to do so. McLarens, which have been silently strong, both at the end of last year and the start of this year, seem to be in a similar position right now. Is coming up on, I believe that's one of the Williams. That's XRL Stumpy ahead of him. Stumpy's gonna pull over very quickly. He almost blows by him with how fast it was. Here's Cookie. He has now put down his outlap. He has 2 minutes and 47 seconds to put down a good lap. So basically, even if he screws up this one, as long as it's not late in the lap, he will have time to put down a clean lap. Basically has 2 laps that he can put down. Lap time here is extremely short. Turbo, his teammate, has come into the pits. He's only 17th, and XRL Devil has gone up the order. Looks like, that was Cargo, actually. XRL Cargo has gone up the order. He's up to 1:10.315. And now new pole sitter at the top, Sasha Andre at the top, 1:10.162 in the Haas. I don't think anyone anticipated the Haas cars to start putting down impressive lap times, but he's made it happen, so congratulations to Sasha. Okay, so Sasha to the top of the timesheets, 1:10.162. Now XRL Mon is in the pits, and I don't think he's gonna have time to come back out there to try and contest that, so unless someone else is able to sit down a good time, I think that's it. Now Cookie has finally set his lap, But the bad news for Cookie is that it's a 1:15.9. He still needs to take off. 3 seconds just to match his teammate Turbo, and just to get into the top 15, he needs to take off roughly 3.5, almost 4 seconds. So Cookie, it's perform time right now in that Ferrari. As Gusty has dropped out of the session, he will not attempt to set more laps. And Turbo is taking the inside escape route. Oh no, he's exiting the circuit. And who is that in? Is that Cargo? So something seems to have happened to Cargo. He's back underway now as he's going to enter the pits, so something happened to him. And Sasha Andre is going to go ahead and bring it into the pits. Turbo is on another outlap. Whitney is still on the circuit. Smish is still on the circuit. Retro is still on the circuit. So Retro is the first guy out. He's going to be one of the last guys out. But here goes Cookie now. He's entering the final 2 corners. He needs to take off a chunk of time off this lap compared to his last one. And there's about 30 seconds left in the session right now. Coming down to the start-finish line. Cookie improves to a 1:13.6, but that's not enough. He's still not really competing even with his teammate Turbo. So the Scuderia Ferrari cars not having a good time right now. Here comes AKA Smish. He's going to bring it into the pits, and Whippy is starting! Whippy has spun the car, and they have damaged the front wing significantly. He is back underway, but you can see the front wing has significant damage. I think Whippy is going to have to call the session quits here, folks, and he still has about half the circuit to go. Whippy is 15th. He's going to have to hope that Cookie isn't able to pull, Kirky or Turbo aren't able to pull out something impressive to try and beat him. You can see the lack of downforce really upsetting the car. He locks up the front tires, barely able to stay on the circuit. So very difficult time for Whippy here, trying to improve his lap time, ended up improving the weight of the front wing, I guess. And that was about it. He's going to be able to safely bring it into the circuit, into the pits here. But a very, very nutty moment there for Whippy, as Smish has finished his time. Here is Retro. He is not finished yet. He's 12th on the timesheet, so it's unlikely he's going to get knocked out. He's almost guaranteed to go to Q2 here. And then there's also XRL Cookie, who seems to be running a little bit slow here. He needs to pick up the pace because Retro is coming up fast. Cookie and Retro are the last 2 cars on the circuit at the moment. And there's a yellow flag out in this section, so he may as well abort. He's not going to abort, he's going to stick in it. But that is going to be it. So everyone has completed their time. So what you're seeing on the board here is what you got. But for both Fratters and Whippy, very, very bad runs here. Both of them get damaged. Fratters did it before he even got set a single lap, so Fratters doesn't even get a chance to get into Q2, let alone get a chance to get familiar with the circuit by himself. So assuming he is going to still be with us in the race itself, he's going to be thrown onto a circuit in circumstances where he's not very familiar or comfortable with the track whatsoever. And then Whippy, out there trying to improve his time, ended up damaging the front wing. But anyways, congratulations though to Sasha, Andre, 02 in the Haas, taking the top spot away from XRL Mon. And then XRL Cargo is there also. He's in 3rd. Devil, XRL Devil in the Renault is 4th. And Sasha, 5th, with Iridisa falling 6th. So Mercedes' dominance at the front of the field that we saw at China, not so evident here with the way that the entire field seems to have ordered itself. So very, very interesting time, and that was just Q1. Anticipate Retro will be coming into the pits here. No. Okay. I mean, the session's ending in about 12 seconds anyway. But the big thing we can see right off the bat is that there's basically no room to give. There's nowhere on the track where you can really give room so someone else can cleanly get by. You can make it work, but it's extremely, extremely difficult. You have to be right on top of it to make it stick. As Retro, who is the first car on the circuit in Q1, is going to be the last car on the circuit for Q2 here. And we'll prepare for Q2 here very shortly. So Q1 has now been complete. So we're going to do a little something different for Q2 here. We're going to be bringing up some of the telemetry. Yep. So we're going to have the telemetry enabled, and whoever the first car is that's out on the track will spend the first 2 laps riding on board with them, just silently so you can hear and see what it's like. And it looks like that's Retro, or is it Hazel? I'm sorry, Hazel's the first one out in Q1, and it was Retro who's the last one in Q2. So it's still race 4. And again, Hazel is going to be the first car onto the circuit here. And we're going to just be silent and ride on board with Hazel with the telemetry pulled up. Some damage! We saw it right there, folks! That was Devil, I believe, who got involved in it, and the front axle does not seem to be working. So we were riding on board with Hazel there, and Hazel ends up totaling the front of the car on his first lap, and that's really going to upset that. Scott DRS, it says DRS is available, but you can see the front wing of that car damaged, so more drama here. Duck in, try and repair the car. So now the question is, who is going to actually be the first person? Here we are. Here is Gisello. Jono is going to set down time 1:11.749. So Jono goes to the top for the moment in the McLaren. But Chaos, we're not even a full 4 minutes into the session. And there's Sasha, who went to the top in the Haas in the last section. Back to the top already, 1:10.438, and Iridisa on top of him, and Stumpy has dropped out. So Iridisa is now at the top, so the Mercedes are coming back to the top here. Someone is stalled there at the start of Q3. I think that's Stumpy. I can't see his car, though. So it looks like they've gotten it removed in time for Blake to come by here. But looks like Stumpy may have damaged or totaled the car in the second to last corner. Add another yellow there, and that one's going to be for Vaughn, I think. No, it's not Vaughn. I know, it's so hard to kind of keep track because there's so many different things going on right now. But I was just being silent. I was watching on board here with with our first car who came out onto the track, which was Hazel, and ends up being total, well not total, but the front wing gets significantly damaged in contact right at the start here. So we will eventually find another car who's on like a decent flying lap, and we'll try to run with them for a while. In fact, here we are. This is Sasha. We'll ride on board with Sasha for a full lap just silently. So while Sasha did retire at the tail end of that lap there, you can still see how aggressive it was, just trying to circle around the track normally, and it looks like Devil has gone off circuit, significantly off circuit. I'm not sure what happened to him there. And it looks like more front wing damage. That's for Devil, and we did not get to see what happened there. So there's less than 8.5 minutes left, and only 8 drivers have set times yet. 9, I say 9 now. 10, and there we are. So Retro, Devil, and Whippy all have yet to set times. And here goes Whippy. He has yet to actually set a good time, though. It seems like medium tires are taking up a lot more spots this time around. Now the top 2, Iridisa and Jazilia, are still under softs. But medium tires seem to be the order of the day right now. There's the yellow flag in Sector 2 and 3. As you can see, one of the Alfa Romeos pulled over for just a brief moment. But we are back underway. There does seem to be an issue up ahead with Mon. He has pulled off almost entirely off the circuit and has actually damaged one of the signboards. I'm having trouble telling what happened to him, though. See, rounds the final corner, is going to come back in. Whippy has gone ahead and pitted. Devil has pitted. Retro. Oh, and that's one of the Renaults who has just gone around back there. And that's XRL Blake, and it looks like the front wing might be stuck in the geometry there of the fence. Now he is able to back up and he's back underway, but the front wing damage again. We're seeing a lot of front wing damage. I hope teams brought a lot of spares. So that's another lap for Blake that will probably have to be ended, as he's extremely slow there in Q2. Now, right now, there's no one directly behind him, so he should be able to get around a significant portion of the track. In fact, the next car that will eventually catch him will be Gusty. So I think this lap will probably be ruined for Gusty, sadly, when he catches Blake. But other than that, it looks like we'll find a little bit of a tire lock up there on the front for Gusty. Now here's the other Renault. XRL Devil is now out on the circuit, so the Renault's involved in a lot of situations here in Q2. Stumpy never got a lap down before he ended up dropping out, and Devil and Whippy both have yet to put down times. There's only about 5.5 minutes left in the session. We're getting word that XRL Stumpy went under the curbs in the last corner, in the second to last corner, and had a snap oversteer moment which sent him right into the wall and totaled his day. So here comes Devil. He's gonna round the final corner here. Full power down, and he will begin what will hopefully be a lap that'll get him up. A big, I'm going to be honest, Retro not having a good time whatsoever. Gets involved in, he's one of the cars who gets involved in incidents. Hazel had that lap 2, his second lap incident, and Retro's going to pull off again. Retro is still 14 seconds off of 11th. He has yet to set a time that will even remotely get him close to Q1. So definitely not going good for the Racing Point machines either. And there's Sasha. He goes across the line and picks up a bunch of time. 1:10.564. But Iridisa is still class of the field at the moment with a 1:09.868. And there's a yellow flag as it looks like another Renault may have had an incident. I don't see anything wrong with Devil's car. And that's Snake. Snake is now abnormally slow in Sector 3. He is back underway now. Devil has set his time. He's going to jump up to 5th. So the Renaults obviously have speed and ability. It's just making sure you have the luck and the clear track to make it happen, as Devil's going to pull well off circuit so the Racing Points can go by. There's still a McLaren behind him, and that's going to be Snake. Snake is also going to go by him on the inside. Here is Whippy. He's on his out lap. He still has yet to put down a time. 3 minutes and about 15 seconds left in the session right now. And this is with Retro. He's on his out lap again. I think he's only going to have 1, maybe 2 shots to really put down a good lap time and showcase what he actually has. His teammate Hazel is 1:11.15 run. He's right on the border of making it or not making it into Q1. If nothing changes, he'll make it. Retro wants to be the change to bring it up there. Hazel is still on the track, though, in an attempt to try and improve his lap times. And Whippy is also out there trying to set down his first lap time. And here's Devil. He's coming around the final corner, and he's actually going to bring it into the pit. So it looks like Devil is probably going to end it in his sessions for today. Here comes Hazel, and here comes Retro. Cross the line, 1:25.027 still. He needs to improve. This is going to be it. He needs to set down his good lap time here. Whippy is actually going to be holding up Hazel just a bit. If Hazel gets a good run, Whippy's going to be right in the way and will hold him up. So that will be a very, very complicated scenario. XRL Mon and XRL Iridisa have both retired from the session, and with Fazelio having pitted, along with Sasha, Devil, I think the top 5 are probably all going to stay where they are unless Sasha... Oh, and I say that, and Hazel is able to make it happen. Can't cycle. Hazel has gone up to 3rd on the timesheets, 1:10.093. So a significant improvement by Hazel. Can his teammate Retro do anything of the same sort? Whippy has finally put down his time. It's a 1:12.072, though. That's not even close to being enough. And there's a yellow flag up ahead And it looks like Gusty in the Haas machine has gone well off the circuit. He's in the gravel. Now he's going to have to start merging on when it's safe, but now Retro's going to blow by him here. This may be his best chance. He's back on the circuit here before Cargo catches up to him. Another yellow flag for, I think that's Stumpy. Yeah, I think something happened to Stumpy. But here's Retro. Jono has retired from the session. And here's Gusty now, right in the final corner. As Cargo's coming across the line, Whippy has retired from the session. He's not going to move to the next lane. Cargo went across the line. He is a 1:10.278 right now. And time is rapidly running out for Retro. This is it. He needs to make something stick and make something happen this lap. If not, he will not make it into Q1. He needs to be a time of 1:11.120. XRL Gusty has retired from the session. He's in the final section. There is yellow flags out, but no one's out there, and he's going to a port. So Retro will not be able to improve from a 1:11.761. And with that in mind, everyone has now set a lap time. Here's XRL Cargo. I'm wrong. Cargo is still on the circuit. I don't think he's in contention to improve his lap time, though. And he's running extremely slow anyway. But another extremely chaotic qualifying session here at Zandvoort. I'm just going to say this. I'm glad I'm up here in the broadcasting booth and I'm not there in the cars, because this circuit and these cars do not seem to be the greatest mate for each other. Like, it's great if the car is dialed in, you're familiar with the circuit, but if you're just a little bit off and you're just a little bit unlucky, it is hell, it seems, trying to get around here. And here we are. XL Cargo will now pull the car down into the pit lane. And that means that everyone has now ended their final qualifying session. We're getting word that Retro might get a 5-place starting grid penalty for the instance that happened. I hope not. It would be a shame to see. But Gusty, Blake, Sasha, Devil, Sasha, Andre, Cargo, Mon, Hazel, Gazilio, and Iridisa will be the drivers that will move on to Q1. So Snake is retired. So yeah, the session has basically come to its conclusion. And this is just qualifying. I hate to imagine what the initial start's going to be, especially considering turn 1 is a 180-degree corner. Then you have a banked borderline hairpin that comes shortly afterwards. It's going to be chaotic, but anyways, Gusty, as I said earlier, Gusty in the Haas, Blake in the Renault, Sasha in the AlphaTauri, Devil in the Renault, Sasha Andre in the Haas, Cargo in the Alfa Romeo, Mon in the Mercedes, Hazel in the Racing Point, Giselio in the Red Bull, and Iridisa in the Mercedes will all make it on. So, no Scuderia Ferraris make it to the next round. Only two Honda-powered cars make it to the next round. Renault gets only 2 cars, both of their factory entrants, so no McLaren's going to the next round, despite the fact that McLaren seemed to be relatively strong in Q1. So only 10 cars this time will start for Q3. This is the run for the pole and will set up the top 10 spots. Personally, you got about 12 minutes on the circuit and then a little bit of time left. My suggestion, if I was in this position, which I'm so glad I'm not, throw on softs, immediately get out there and sit down like a out lap, and then 1 or 2 really fast hot laps, immediately come in, download, reset up another set of soft tires, and get right back out there. And it looks like once again, it's going to be Hazel who insists on being the first car out every single time. It didn't work out for him very well in Q2, but the Racing Point strategy doesn't seem to be the worst considering he's third on the timesheets right now. Now we have other cars coming out. There's Gazzelio coming out, and we have Mon who is out on the circuit. Gusty and the Haas is out. Iridisa is now coming onto the track. We also should have Gazzelio coming out shortly. There's Gazzelio. But for right now, the focus is going to be on Hazel. Again, the Force India Racing Points will set the tone for the opening laps in Q3. Thankfully, with only 10 cars on track, there should be a lot more open circuit available. It's still going to be difficult to get a clean lap in, but there's going to be a lot more open circuit available. We're going to go ahead and bring up the telemetry one more time, and when he starts up the next lap, well, about before he starts up the next lap, I'll just go silent, and we'll have a full lap where he gets right on board with Hazel, so you can really see how aggressive they're pushing these cars here for the pole position. To the top at the start of the session, 1:10.277. Here comes Mon. He's going to take the top spot from him. 1:09.779. Here comes Iridisa now. He's going to come by the line to the top, 1:09.515. And now Gazzelio also goes up to the top 3, 1:10.090. And here we go. Plank is coming around now in the final corner. Power all the way down. DRS open. And across the line in 8th gear, he is going to be 1:10.819. His teammate XRL Devil comes down just a little bit behind him. He's going to best his teammate, 1:10.242. Sasha, 1:10.396, and Sasha Andre comes down. Sasha Andre, 1:09.844. Gusty and Cargo have yet to get going. Gusty lets by one of the Mercedes. Here's Cargo, who seems to be extremely slow there in Sector 2. He is off the racing line at least, and he's trying to get underway now. I'm not 100% sure what happened, but he pulled off and was basically at a dead standstill here, as Hazel is dumped into the pit lane. Less than 8 minutes remain in the session right now. Coming out of the final corner, here comes Gazzelio across the line. Gazzelio goes up to second, 1:09.748, as both of the Mercedes, who are 1 and 3rd on the boards right now, are in the pits. They will more than likely throw new sticker red tires on to try and better their lap times. Right now, it's all about getting the best starting position possible, and for the Mercedes, which have shown immense strength last season and this season, it's all about contending for the pole position. Gazzelio pulls off into the dirt to let one of the Alfa Romeos go by. That is XRL Cargo. And there's a yellow flag in Sector 2 for Gazzelio, but he will be back underway very shortly, I imagine. Right now, there are only 3 cars on the circuit at the moment. Gusty and Cargo both trying to set their first laps of the section. Coming out of the final corner, DRS open, power down, and across the line, XRL Gusty, 1:10.355. That's good enough for 7th at the moment. And now here comes Cargo. Out of the bank corner, DRS open, powers down, and across the line, 1:10.568. And now we're seeing drivers starting to come back out. Hazel is back onto the circuit already. Just a little bit over 6 minutes left in the session. There's enough time to get stuff down here. Everyone on the soft tire compounds. As I said, there's just not enough time to really make use of the mediums. Even if you have a bunch of times blocked, you're going to want to be on the softs. There is a very, very small difference between soft and medium compounds from what we've seen. It seems like the mediums are comparable, a little slower, but comparable to the softs. But when you have a session that's like barely 12 minutes long, and it takes you the better part of 2 minutes just to get to set your first lap down, it's just generally a better idea to be on the softs the entire time, come out, run a quick lap or two at full power, and then come in, swap to another set of softs. There's no real advantage to having mediums here unless you want to start the race on the medium tire compounds. Armand goes to the top, 109.392. Hazel not able to improve on his lap time yet. Here's Cargo. He's going to start coming onto the circuit to improve on his time. About 4 minutes left in the session. So basically, if you want to improve on your lap time, you don't think it's good enough, you probably should come out right now so you have enough time to warm up the tires and get 1, maybe 2 laps in. But the later and later you wait, the less and less likely it is you'll get that chance at second lap time. Here's Blake, who's around the circuit. His teammate Devil is still in the pit lane. Now, it's saying there's a yellow flag in Sector 1 going into Sector 2 here for Cargo. Now, it's gone already. I did not see what it was that brought it up. It's pulling over on the circuit. That will enable... Oh my god, and one of the Mercedes! And that was Iridisa! Iridisa has absolutely totaled his car here! And there we are! Hazel also has gone around! Hazel's gone around! Iridisa has completely totaled his car! So 2 different incidents occurring on 2 different ends of the racetrack. And our second fastest driver thus far, Iridisa, has ruined his car here. We saw he got a little bit aggressive putting the power down with the DRS open. It didn't matter. That car went right to the inside wall and was absolutely destroyed. Mon has come back into the pits. The risk may be too much for Mon to stay out there. Now the question is, will they allow Iridisa and that team to repair the car and let it start on the front row, or will he go to the back of the field or to the back of the Q3 field? That's going to be the next question here. And here we are. Blake is in the pits. Mon is going to be coming out, so Mon thinks that it's a better idea to come out and attempt it. Despite the fact that his teammate totaled the car, he's going to try and make it happen. Hazel, who went around earlier, has damaged his front wing. He's going to have to abort this lap. It looks like 6 is going to be the best he's going to be able to fight for. Gusty is pulled off the circuit for just a brief moment to let other cars by. That was Gazilio. Will Gazilio be able to improve on his lap time? The fact that Iridisa will not be able to better his time means that he might have a shot for second on the timesheets. He's going to whip it around the final corner. Power down, DRS open, and across the line. Sasha actually gets ahead of him, and Gazilio goes to the top. 109.381 for the Red Bull Aston Martin Honda. So Mercedes might not even be able to contend for the pole position. They were contained, but they might not start this race on the pole position, which would be very weird. Every single race I've done with these guys, Mercedes-powered cars have always ended up on the pole. That might not be the case today. Mon is on the circuit. He needs to make this lap work. Here's Sasha. He's 4th on the timesheets right now. He actually was ahead of Gazilio for all of a brief second before Gazilio blew everyone's times out of the water. XRL Blake, who is 10th on the times right now, is out on the circuit on his outlap. He's only going to be given one chance, more than likely, to set a good time and improve his starting position. Hazel has dropped out of the session. Hazel will not continue. It says there's a yellow flag. Okay, that was weird. So the time is up. Right now, the only car that's got a question mark on it is this driver here, XRL Blake. It says that he's still on an outlap. Sasha Andre is also apparently at it. And no, Blake is going to have to abort. So now the question is, Sasha Andre, will he be able to improve on his time in the Haas? Everyone else has finished. Oh, and that car gets really sideways there. Everyone else has finished is cooling down right now. Does Sasha have what it takes to put the Ferrari engine up on the front row? He bounces over the curbs there, and that might end up being considered a cut. I don't have much faith in his ability to put this lap down. Seems like he's struggling to get maximum grip on the front tires there as he enters the final 2 corners. And yeah, this lap is definitely not going to factor in for it. He's nice and slow, so he's not going to improve on his lap time. So congratulations to XRL Gazilio. As Sasha and Cargo both go by, we'll start finish line once again. Has completed their times here. It's just everyone's cycling around, and what you see on this sheet right there is going to be the final results. Now the question is, Iridisa's car was completely totaled in an accident. The entire front suspension destroyed, the nose, the front wing, all of it destroyed. So the question is going to be, will Iridisa be allowed to keep a 3rd place starting position? Will they, after they repair the car, will he go to 10th? Or will, worst case scenario, will he go to the very back of the field if they have to completely replace the car altogether? So there's your final grid for the top 10 spots in today's race. So X3 continues to be extremely interesting in qualifying, and we still have the main race itself coming up very shortly. I'm going to take a very, very brief second step away. Station identification. This is Extreme Racing League, where we are broadcasting the X3 division here at Zandvoort, and then shortly afterwards, it is basically 99% confirmed that I will be joining more of these guys for broadcasting for the X2 groups, which are the next level up in driver quality, supposedly. I don't know. I've not seen them. I can't verify that myself. That's supposed to be the next level up. And that event will take place after this. There's also, on another one of our Extreme Racing League channels, the current X1 event going on right now. So if you are interested in that, I recommend you go back and check that out after X3 and X2 is done. But for now, please stick with us for X3, because I can guarantee X3 will put on an interesting show. Not necessarily a good, clean show, but it will be an interesting show. I've seen races with these guys where it's been very nice and clean throughout. Last week at China was a pretty clean race once you got by the initial starts. And I've also seen absolute chaotic events that made events like today's race at Mugello or 2019 at Hockenheim blush. Anyways, I'm going to step aside for just a brief minute. Going to whistle my wet my whistle, just get some water to rehydrate, and we will be with you when we get to the start here at Zandvoort in the Netherlands. I wonder if you would commit tax evasion for a Klondike bar. Welcome back to XRL X3, race 4 of the F1 2020 season here at Zandvoort. Qualifying has wrapped up, and we saw very chaotic qualifying. And one of the big issues is that in qualifying, there just wasn't enough track to get around and get by people cleanly. And we're setting up now for the race start here. Everyone's going to go around, get their tires nice and cleaned off here. Nice cleaned off and a little bit warmed up. So Fratters, who was not able to complete a single lap in qualifying, he wrecked, I believe, on his either on his out lap or the first lap. He's going to start 19th, Flying Wallaby 20th, and then Retro ended up getting penalized for incidents that happened in the race. He's going to start 18th. Cookie didn't even come close to even fighting with his teammate Turbo in Q1. He'll start 17th, so a lot of the slower drivers will be in the back of the field. But they might not have been slow off of car ability or anything. It may be a case where they are slow just because bad circumstances. And then Flying Wallaby, who didn't even make qualifying at all, he will get to start 20th at last. So that's going to be a really wild card there in that Alfa Romeo. Now, the big, nice, fortunate thing is that this guy where I'm with here, XRL Iridisa, he totaled his car completely at this section of the track right here. In fact, he almost just hit there, right there at that wall he's going by. He came and smashed the living hell out of that wall, destroyed the front end of his Mercedes. He was second in the timesheets at the time. He ended up slipping to third as Zello ended up taking the top spot. But the team was allowed to repair the car and were able to keep their third place starting position. So it's a big plus for him. And then here's Hazel, and he is one of the other Racing Point Force India cars, and they have had a very chaotic time. Not to mention XRL Blake and XRL Devil as well. They also had a very rough time of it all. But anyways, everyone is now beginning to line up here at the start-finish line. I anticipate this will be a very interesting race, to say the least. And I say interesting because I don't know if it's going to be good in terms of racing potential, where you can have a lot of overtakes. I don't know if it's going to be good in the sense that there's going to be a lot of on-track action. I don't know if it's going to be good because there's going to be a lot of strategy, or it could just be a complete shit show, but good in the sense that it's entertaining with all the crazy crash and stuff. But we'll find out shortly. Everyone is lined up on the grid. As lights out and away we go here in the Netherlands. And immediately Zilla gets a nice little jump right at the start. And it says Jono's out the front. That's weird. Ignore the timing lines. They're trying to figure out who's actually where. But it looks like the field got through the first few corners okay, as we gotta jump down the order just a bit. Here we are on board with XRL Blake. As we look behind them, you can see, and there goes Gusty. He's gonna end up off the circuit just a moment, and that's going to cause him to fall rapidly through the field. He's gonna be 18th now, and there goes Turbo! Turbo! And the Ferraris! The Scuderia Ferraris have ruined each other's day! They're taking each other out! Cookie is out of it! Turbo is out of it! You can see both of the cars right there! Absolutely destroyed! You can see both of the Scuderia Ferraris absolutely ruined at the very start of the race. XRL Jonah, who's on the hard tire compound, might have blacked out a bit there, and that's going to have to be a full course yellow flag there, as XRL Cookie and XRL Turbo both end up destroyed. The Scuderia Ferrari team having an absolutely horrible start to the day. And this man here, XRL Gizelio, is able to capitalize on the start and will hold on to the lead here over the two Mercedes. Safety car is waiting there in Sector 1 at the moment. It's full course yellow here for a very chaotic start. And that's Retro, who's coming into the pits. I believe he has front wing damage. He's going to be joined by Jono and Fratters. Fratters, who ended up starting at the back of the field, he got a little bit of damage in that. They're going to go ahead and try and repair that car. There it is. They're swapping out the front wing. That was a really awkward animation, just saying. Here's XRL Gusty, who we had been riding on board with when the incident happened. He got caught. He had to check out to make sure he avoided someone else's incident. And as he fell back, it caused a stack up in the back of the field. And the two Ferraris of Cookie and Turbo, who didn't have a very good run in Q3, ended up collecting each other with a hard T-bone impact about where the area where the driver's legs are, and it destroyed both of the Ferraris, and they are out, and they did not even complete half of the race. So right now, it's a matter of Retro, Jono, and Fratters trying to catch up to the back of the field real quickly here. So I anticipate Fratters will be able to catch up. So there's your predicted I don't know why. I hate it when this game fucking does that shit. But anyways, I anticipate Fratters will probably catch the back of the field very shortly here. And when he does, we'll probably go green heading into lap 4 after a massive lap 1 crash between the two Scuderia Ferraris totaled their cars. Yeah, here comes Fratters. He has a very, very quick run down now to the field. He'll catch him right here. So I imagine they will call in as pace car will come in this lap. 5-second penalty for Whippy as he has had a collision with XRL Snake. So that's really going to hurt his ability here. Safety car is coming in this lap, so yes, we can confirm that is going to be the decision. And for Retro, gotta be really nuts trying to see if he can make something happen. Because he's on the hard tire compounds, but he's stuck in the back of the field here, and there's any sort of checkup or hold up ahead is going to end up being an absolute mess for him trying to make something happen. But at the front, XRL here is the Zero. He's going to come down here at the line. Green flag is out once again here at Zandvoort. And already a yellow flag in all the second numbers is gone. We are underway here. And here we are, Retro's already making up positions, and he goes off the circuit. Smith goes off the circuit as well. He's going to go off the circuit and nearly hit Flying Wallaby. But it looks like they were able to avoid a massive incident in the back of the field this time around here. And here's Snake. He's right behind Blake, and Gussie throws the car up there at the last possible moment, and he was able to make it stick as Snake gave him just enough room. And they're up there. You can see Blake gets a little bit off circuit. Gussie trying to make something happen there. Retro is right here behind Snake. Smish is going to fall down the order just a little bit more. Flying Wallaby is significantly off the back of the field here. And this is going to be where it all comes down to. XRL Mom behind XRL Iridisa, behind XRL Durazirilo. At full racing speed, what are they going to do coming through these final corners? Are they close enough? And Smish apparently left the session, although he's still on the track. That's weird. But here we are going down the front straightaway. They're not close enough to make anything happen yet, and DRS has not been open for the field yet. Whippy and Stumpy are having a little bit of a battle back there, and Stumpy's actually going to lose the spot to Blake. And now Stumpy needs to get back on it fast because here comes Gussie in the Haas. He wants to make something happen there. He's there. He's side by side. He's on the outside in that really high bank corner, and Gussie's got to pull out of it. But that means Snake may have a chance to do something, but he has to make sure that Retro doesn't do something. One person gets offline a little bit, 10 spots up, and becomes a feed freezing for the entire field behind them. Flying Wallaby is significantly off the pace because he went in and pitted. I'm guessing he may have taken damage. This is his second time he's pitted thus far. disgusting. Right there behind Stumpy, trying to make something happen. Blake and Whippy are actually starting to check out on him just a little bit. And look at this gaggle of cars here from 9th to 4th. Everyone right on top of each other, but no one able to make anything happen. These are all for points-paying positions here. DRS has been enabled, and there goes Sasha. Sasha has ruined that AlphaTauri, and he missed the pit lane. I don't know if he's going to be able to get that car back around. The front wing is significantly damaged, but Sasha, who put down a wonderful run in Q1, is already in an instant after the car got sideways there, and that's going to be a virtual safety car due to the damage from the car that was put on the track. Smish had gone ahead and pitted. Now they're repairing that car, they're replacing the tires on the car and fixing the front wing right now. But absolute travesty for Sasha, who got sideways just as DRS enabled, and guessing that it's so weird because he already had the throttle all the way down by the looks of it, and the car just seemed to oversteer right into the inside wall. He was able to continue. It's not the day over for him, at least, but it's definitely chaotic, and we are back under virtual safety car, not full safety car, but virtual safety car. And it's up to Smish and Flying Wallaby to catch up to the back of the field as fast as possible to enable us to get back underway here. For some reason, the leader intervals aren't working today. And we're getting word that XRL Stumpy is going to have to take a drive-through penalty for speeding. Who is that? That was Stumpy. He's gone off the circuit, so he's gonna. So he went off the circuit, and he's gonna. And that's Retro! Retro has ruined the car! Retro has totaled the car under yellow flag here, and he's barely out of the way for Fratters as he's gone by there. So Retro has totaled the car completely. The hard tire compound strategy isn't going to even remotely get a chance to work for him as that car is ruined. And there we go! He's going to hit him! And Smish is going to T-burn Retro! And he's going to be able to continue. But here comes Flying Wallaby! He's barely able to sneak through there! Absolute travesty as Smish's car is destroyed. Retro's car totaled coming out of the final corner. The car right in the racing line. And although we are under yellow, there are cars who needed to get back up to the back of the field so we could get underway again, and it didn't matter. Retro has left the section. We're back under a virtual safety car here. It looks like they took it off and then put it back on, because they just can't seem to keep it straight here. So it looks like it's going to be one of those races where everything is pure chaos here. Has been enabled, and we are back under green flag here, and Iridisa is right there behind Desilio. Is he going to be able to make something happen? He goes to the outside there, that high banked hairpin. Nothing yet, but Iridisa is there. He might be able to make something stick. The entire field is all over the place. It's hard to tell really who's where, except for these leaders, because the Mercedes want to get back onto the top step of the podium here. They're going to be entering the DRS zone very shortly, but this is where Iridisa spun out and totaled his car under qualifying conditions. Will he be able to avoid that happening? He's going to back off just a little bit. DRS opens. And here he goes down the line. Is he going to be able to do anything? That's a negative. In fact, it looks like he has to be a little bit more careful, making sure that Mon behind him isn't able to do anything. Mon is on alternate tire strategy. He's running the yellow medium sidewall tire compounds. But Sasha and Cargo, who is back there 13th and 14th, they're both on the hard compounds. They may, if they're able to make those tires last long enough, they may be able to last until the last few laps and then throw on some sauce and run to the end of the race. Dono, he's apparently gained a little bit of position, and he's close enough to Whippy ahead of him. He might be able to make something happen. He's following him. He's got DRS open. He looks to the outside. There's a yellow flag up ahead of him. And now you see what it was. Here's another battle here with Devil and Hazel. Hazel's right right there behind Devil. He's basically has his rear wing right under him. Is he going to be able to make anything work? This track is so narrow and undulates so much, it's hard to find a place to stick the car. But if you can do it, if you can catch the guy in front of you off, you might be able to make him go off circuit or just get off the racing lineup and take advantage of the spot. It's almost like a more grassy, slightly more open Monaco in some ways. And something may have happened to Sasha up ahead of him. Sasha has dropped off significantly off the back of our top cars. And Iridisa is falling away from Zilio. It seems like in the dirty air, he's not able to make that Mercedes work as well as he'd like. But look at this battle right here. 4 cars all in a row once again. And Kyono, Whippy, Snake, and Gusty all on top of each other. I think they're all close enough. They'll all be able to activate DRS on each other. Smish is a lap down at this point. He's the only driver a lap down. Retro is out of the event, and Cookie and after Retro wrecked himself after we went green after the end of a virtual safety car coming out of the final corner, and then got smashed head-on by Smish. Smish was able to continue running, and then Cookie and Turbo both took each other out. The scary Ferrari accident at the very start of the race here. Snake gets the tires into the dirt just for a second there, but it looks like this group is all starting to fan out just a little bit here. Whippy, not Whippy, Kyono at least is pulling away from Whippy. Whippy seems to be a little bit of a bottleneck here between Snake and Gusty, and DRS is going to be open here for Gusty. He's got to look to the inside of Snake, but pulls out at the last second, not able to do anything. He's right there behind Snake once more, and they're going to be coming down here to the final corner all on top of each other. Whippy does not seem to be as comfortable with the car as Snake is with his McLaren, or Gusty is here, and the Hossie is going to get into the dirt and get nice and sideways. That was really chaotic, and that might mean Smith will be able to come up, but Smith is the lap down, so he's not going to be able to factor in. But now, Gusty has lost the position of Snake, so Snake, once again, right underneath Whippy's rear tires. He's going to back off just a little bit here before he gets into the braking zone. Whippy locks up the tires just a little bit. Snake right there, he's got to put the power down, getting the sticking the nose out just to get a little bit more air into the front wing. Whippy puts the right rear into the dirt. He does it twice there, and now he's going to brake just a little earlier. He wants to put a little bit of a gap between himself and Whippy in the areas where he's obviously not going to be able to make something happen. And he's going to go off the circuit, and that's Gusty. Gusty is going to end up ahead of Snake there. So Snake backed up so he could try and set up something on Whippy. Gusty was able to take advantage of it and shoot by in an area where no one really thought you could make something happen. And now DRS is open to go Gusty and Snake. Here comes Snake. He's going to look against Whippy. He makes a little bit of contact with him in the rear. He's going to knock Whippy right off the circuit. Snake is there. He can't do anything about it. Yes, he can. He's going to look to the inside. There's nowhere to go. Smash is there, still left down, but he needs to make sure he doesn't end up involved in their accidents. And that Haas seems to be really, really sideways there in that final corner. It's supposed to be flat out, and he's having trouble keeping it flat out there. Snake is actually closing in on him just a bit, and Whippy opened up a very, very brief gap. Here comes Snake looking back to it. And there's a yellow flag in a few sectors up. It looks like it's gone green again already. But this is probably the most intense battle on the circuit right now. There is another one going on here with Hazel and Devil, but it seems to be a lot calmer. And there's another one here with Ratters trying to make something happen with Cargo. But this is the real battle that everyone seems to be focused on right now. Snake behind Gusty with Whippy holding both of them up. Now will Gusty be able to do something this time? He's got DRS open. He looks to the outside. Whippy has the inside. They're side by side. And into this hard 90-degree corner. He might be able to make it work. He's going to knock Whippy wide. Whippy gets knocked way wide, and Snake's able to capitalize on it as well now. Whippy falls back in line behind him, and now Whippy is out of point paint positions, and Snake needs to put his sights on Gusty and do it fast before Whippy gets a chance to maximize DRS. Going down the front straightaway. They're both trying to pull away just a little bit from that case. He might not factor in, but here comes Whippy. He's looking in. Side by side going at turn number 1. Whippy's gonna be side by side. He's got that preferred land choice. Now Snake will be able to put the power down earlier, but it doesn't matter. It looks like Whippy has the faster land choice to make a little bit of contact too, and the tires from Snake's car goes off into the dirt. Whippy's gonna lock up the tires just for a brief moment, and as they're doing this, Gusty is getting away from just a little bit. This is the spot for the last point paying position on the track here. Oh, excuse me. Whippy sends it in really deep to try to open the gap just a little bit more. Snake's a little bit more conservative going into that there. He's trying to set it up so he can maybe get a DRS run on him here. Going into this next little straightaway they're coming up on very shortly here. DRS zone is coming up shortly. And Gusty is trying desperately to open up the gap on Whippy so Whippy can't run down on him. They're through the DRS detection zone. And Sasha Andre is up into third as our leader, XRL Zandvoort, has apparently pitted. He has swapped to the hard tire compound. In fact, he is not the only one. Hazel has gone ahead. He's made his pit stop as well. Not Hazel. Aaron Zisa has made his pit stop as well. But here we are. This is it. Snake and Whippy. DRS is open for Snake. He's going to be closing in on him on the straight, but I don't think he's going to be close enough to make anything happen. He's basically under his rear wing there. They're both going to get around, possibly get around Devil, because Devil ahead of them has fresh but cold tires. So he's going to be really careful, because that will be a battle for position in a sense, although these guys will have to pit sooner rather than later. Ratters has a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. This is going to be the real interesting part. Right on North Whippy, he's right behind Devil. And Devil needs to get those tires warmed up. And XRL Stumpy has had something happen to him now. Oh my god, that car is absolutely destroyed there in the high bank corner. I'm not sure what happened, but XRL Stumpy's day is over. And that's going to be a full course yellow flag. So yellow is out for the entire field. An absolutely chaotic race, and that's our 4th outright DNF based off of accident here. And that was in the DRS detection zone, and that's, I believe this is the full course yellow flag safety car. I think it is. But all of our leaders, our top 5 drivers, have all swapped to hard tire compound, aka Smish is still a lap down. So he really needs things to change if he wants to make anything happen. Oh god, this race is something else, and we're not quite halfway through. This race is like blowing by fast, but there's so much going on. Oh, this is hard to keep track of. And everyone except for Cargo has swapped to the hard tire compounds. I think everyone here is anticipating that they can run hard to the end of the race and not have to pit again, because track position seems to be so key. And the guy who really is going to capitalize on all this is this guy here, XRL Blake. He will not have to worry about losing time and being overtaken under cold tires, because the yellow flag has come out. As long as he's able to keep the tire compound somewhat warm, he'll be in a decent position. But it's going to be a long time for the field to all catch up. Cargo was almost a lap down when that yellow flag came out, so he needs to cycle back up to the back of the field. So this is going to be a long yellow flag here. As XRL Stumpy, we did not see what happened, but we saw the results. The left rear tire completely ripped off of the car despite the tethers there in the final 2 corners, right in the racing line as well. So this is the interesting part. The Mercedes team ended up getting pretty much a free track position and inherited the lead, because Lazilio pitted, was one of the first cars actually to pit under a green flag, but Mod and Iridisa were able to pit just as Lazilio coming out, so they lost minimal track position. So the Mercedes are now 1-2 ahead of your Red Bull pole sitter, XRL Lazilio. And then once again, we want to give a shout out to Sasha Andre and that Haas machine, able to keep it in 4th there. He did fall off the back of the field pretty badly earlier, but still, it's been very, very impressive and respectful what he's been able to do here. So it looks like they're going to enable the other Williams of AK Smish to attempt to make up time and track position. At least that's what it seems like right now. But he needs to be careful here while doing that. Considering how tight this course is, it's not like you can just blow by with no problem. This isn't Monza. Safety car will be coming in this lap. So Smish is trying to make his way up as far as he can. And here he is. Smish is now out ahead of the Mercedes. In fact, it looks like he's probably going to be even able to catch to the pace, the safety car itself here. But he will overtake it. He is a lap down, so it's not going to be a significant issue. But this is going to be it. Coming in the line here. The entire top three are all on top of each other. But the Mercedes were able to maximize their start. And we are going to go green flag here. And there seems to be some massive, massive shuffling there. And there you are! There's a Red Bull who's got involved in an instant there. That was Whippy, I think. And that's Blake as well. So Whippy and Blake both end up in an instant there at the initial start. Oh, and Cargo! And Minesh and Sasha both absolutely destroyed. They're both going to try and whip it around. Now Whippy is going to get back in front of them. But more chaos just here at the initial start. Two accidents at different parts of the track in the first sector. Cargo was the one guy who's actually decided to stick with Sauce. Now it looks like that tire compound uniqueness is not going to do anything for him. He's actually going to make contact with Sasha in the rear end there. But everything all over the place and crazy here at the start. And that, I think the front wing on Whippy's car might be damaged. I'm not sure. I'm going to wait until we get a better look. It doesn't look damaged. They may have to come in to fix that car. Meanwhile, a little bit farther up in the field. Flying Wallaby, who started 20th and fell off the back of the field earlier, is now 8th behind XRL Devil. And Devil is there behind Dono. Can't even do anything to Dono going down the straightaway here. Dono is falling off the back of Sasha, but Sasha lost 4th position here to, to the pink Racing Point Hazel. I'm losing my voice. I'm supposed to do another one of these races right afterwards. I'm actually a little bit concerned. Oh, wow. Alright, it looks like the field is all starting to spread out just a little bit here. This is the closest battle we have right now, Riders and Whippy, but there are a bunch of drivers that will all be coming out back onto the pit lane. And they're all swapping to the medium compound tires. They are not anticipating to stop. And again, now the real interesting part will AK Smish be in position to overtake. No, it does not look like he will be able to. But Smish is on the lead lap, just barely, but he is on the lead lap. He waits. XRL Mon has opened up the gap a little bit on XRL Iridisa. Both of them have opened up just a little bit on Zazilio. I think it's just enough that Zazilio is not going to be able to get DRS on them. Hazel is close enough that he might be able to make something happen to Zazilio. He is opening up the gap between himself and Sasha. And Hazel actually cuts it, crashes a little bit. He's going to go ahead and pit. So Sasha is going to go back up to the 4th position here. Here's Devil. He's behind Jono. Jono locks up the tires there. Flying Wallaby is right there. He's ready to make something happen. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1 here. Something has happened. One of the cars up ahead, and that's Smish. Smish has gotten turned around somehow. That he's going to get turned back the right way now. Hopefully he can do it before the Whippy comes by. There goes Whippy, so Whippy will not be a factor. So now Smish is actually going to be disqualified from the session completely for that instant because he was deemed to be blocking Whippy. We are now down to only 15 cars here on the lead lap. This means Gusty is now in the 10th position. He will inherit points if nothing else changes here. Fratters, 3-second time penalty again. So Fratters' day continues to go from bad to worse. I think this is the 2nd, if not 3rd, time penalty he's gotten thus far today. Meanwhile, further back, Wallaby, Devil, and Dono all in a 3-way fight there. And Iridisa gets a 3-second time penalty as well. So this race, this end result, may not be known until everyone's crossed the line simply because of the number of time penalties that are going to be stacked up at the end of the event. It's going to be like the Yas Marina race that X3 had last year, where the entire grid ordering was basically turned on its head, it seemed, after the race was over. That was with 9 cars dropping out of that race. We're already on a similar pace. We've had 5 cars drop out of this one, and we're not quite to the 2/3 mark of the race yet. Devil and Jono right on top of each other here. Is Devil going to be able to do anything? Devil looks to the inside here, but he's not able to stick his car in, but they are close enough. He's going to be able to activate DRS down this little short straightaway, but he's going to have to move fast. He's not going to. He's not going to make the move. No need to make that risk yet. XRL Devil's going to take a slightly higher line around the high banked corner. And is he close enough for DRS? I believe he was. But he's too far back to really capitalize on it. And again, Jono seems to be locking up the tires real badly there. Now here's something a little interesting. It looks like something has happened to XRL Blake. The car is completely off the circuit there. The sector 2, he's going to merge back onto the racing circuit. He's right in front of XRL Snake though. But he is underway, and now Snake is going to be there. He might be able to take 14th place from him. Meanwhile, at the front, Iridisa is the closest he's been since the restart. Will Iridisa, who wrecked in qualifying and had the entire weekend potentially slip away from being able to make a move? Well, here's another battle going on for Devil and Jono here for 5th position. DRS is open once more, but Jono got the power down better, so he's not going to be able to make a move here. Devil just keeps getting caught in Jono's aerodynamic wake at the wrong moments. Runs just a little bit wide there, but they are both going away from Flying Wallaby at least, so that will make things a little bit easier for them. Jono takes the inside line. The DRS is open on that Renault, but it's not close enough for him to make anything stick. Jono holds that inside line once more. Meanwhile, at the front, Iridisa falls off the back of Mon just a little bit here. Fastest lap on the track thus far is apparently XRL Gusty with a 107.780. Problem is, he's not in points paying position yet. He needs to get by Cargo somehow in order to make that work. And Fratters, that car is destroyed completely there. So Fratters is now going to drop out of the event. Another accident. That's 2 accidents that have totaled the car in the span of the week. And that's going to be another full course yellow flag here. So Fratters destroys the car coming out of the final corner. And it's right at the pit lane entry. The car's already been removed. But we're going to go under yellow flag again here. The one that's really good for is Snake, because now Snake is not going to have any risk to worry about potentially going a lap down. He was about only a quarter of the track ahead of the field. And XRL Blake gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Cargo's not going to be happy with this because he's 10th. He was just in the points paying positions, and now he's going to have several cars right on his ass ready to make something happen. So those final 2 corners, it seems like they're having a lot of trouble keeping them straight through those final 2 corners, and we've seen multiple instances through there. We've seen Retro get wrecked through there, Smish hit him, and the result, we've seen Stumpy end up in an accident. We've seen Fratters get completely totaled through there as well. And then in qualifying, we saw at least 2 instances there also. We saw one of the Haas cars get sideways going through there and tap the inside wall. He was able to continue. So the final 2 corners, the bank corners, really throwing these drivers for a loop. Typically, Formula 1 has really bloody flat corners, and then you have a NASCAR-like bank corner there. It's definitely something else, to say the least. Blake has gone ahead and pitted, So it's going to take a long time for them to actually get going again, because Blake is a better part of 2/3 of a lap down. He will obviously be going full power, but it's going to take a little bit of time to get everybody caught up. So hard tire compounds for the top 8 drivers on the circuit right now, and then everyone else is on medium tire compounds. And this is our 3rd safety car of the day. So to recap, the 2 Scuderia Ferraris of Cookie and Turbo wrecked before they even got to finish half a lap. They wrecked just coming out of this corner that they're coming through right now, and they completely destroyed themselves. AK Smish was involved. Then later on, Retro crashed coming out of the final corner. Smish ended up hitting the car and put him a lap down. And then later on, Smish spun himself out on his own ability, and while trying to get back around the circuit, he ended up blocking the track in a very unsafe manner. Ended up being disqualified from the event completely. XRL, Stumpy, and Fratters both have also had car-destroying incidents in the final 2 corners as well. And we've also seen a whole lot of wing changes today, and that is just the race alone. Qualifying itself was a nutty beast. The field's still waiting to see how long it will take for XRL Blake to catch up to the back of the field, because everyone else is there, just not Blake. And it appears that we may be getting another safety car in this lap. It's going to be interesting. And something has happened to Iridisa. Iridisa has wrecked the car, apparently. So Iridisa, who was going to restart second, has wrecked the car. We are still under the yellow flag, so the yellow flag continues. But Iridisa, who was going to start second, he either looped the car, wrecked it, or something. He's going to come into the pits here. So the yellow flag will be extended now. And the one who really benefits from that is Desilio and Gusty, because Gusty now moves up into the points paying positions, and Desilio, who was the pole setter, now gets a chance to make up for the poor falling of yellow flags earlier. He might be able to make something happen to XRL Mon. He doesn't have 2 Mercedes to pass, only 1. Iridisa swapped to the soft tire compounds to see if things can make those softs last for the race. He's going to have to catch up real fast, though, to the field, because I'd like to see the race go green here real shortly. And he's going to be the only soft tire compound car, and Flying Wallaby has a 5-second penalty for a collision with Whippy. I didn't see it happen. But yeah, it seems like Iridisa has now caught the back of the field. So I imagine, assuming nothing else happens, we will go green now. Although we've had trouble just even going green and ending safety cars sometimes. We've had instances where drivers have totaled their cars the moment the safety car or the virtual safety cars have ended. But anyways, coming down here, Mon and Jazilio are going to be leading the field once more as the pace car is now pulling away. Mon has to make all the heavy lifting for the team and to make sure that he's able to win this race. Whippy, 5-second penalty for collision with Wallaby. There seems to be something going on in the back of the field. Well, either way, here we go. We're underway here, and there's yellow. Nope, we're green. We are under green here, and there are yellow flags there in Sector 3. But everyone's out of Sector 3, so we're good. Now, will Desilio be able to make anything happen? And more importantly, what will... Wow, Iridisa's already flown up the track. Wow, he's right there with the AlphaTauri. He's going to make a move. He's already up and fighting for points-paying positions here. He is not messing around at one bit. Something has happened to Whippy. He has gone well off the pace, but Iridisa in a mad charge up the field here is He's up to 11th already. After restarting 14th, he's making full use of those softs, and he's going to overtake Sasha. He's now 10th in the points paying position. He's behind Flying Wallaby now. And there's a yellow flag in Sector 2 as well now. Whippy really seems to be having trouble with the car. The front wing is damaged. Iridisa up to 9th already. Flying Wallaby has spun the car. There's damage on that car. He is back underway. But Iridisa already up to the 9th position here. Mon has opened up a massive gap already against Casilio, though. DRS this lap. You can see Gusty, Iridisa has the pace, he has the speed, no doubt. There's a little bit of a battle going on there between the AlphaTauri and the Renault. Blake loses the spot to Sasha, so Sasha goes back to the points main positions here. A little bit farther up the field, Hazel is stuck here behind Cargo and Devil. These three drivers seem to be in battles almost all day long here. Flying Wallaby and Whippy are both pitting. It looks like their chance for finishing the points may be over. Devil and Cargo both really sideways. Devil really having trouble putting the power down that Renault. Power down. Here comes Hazel. He's on the outside of Devil, but he's got two tires in the dirt. He pulls out at the last moment, wisely but risky. And you can see behind them another train of cars is formed. Whippy right here behind Sasha, who's behind Iridisa. Iridisa is on soft, and he qualified third. DRS is going to be enabled this time, so will they be able to open up DRS on the straight? Hazel has dropped out of the session. The car has just pulled off. There may have been a PU failure, so Hazel is going to retire. Snake goes up to the points paying positions now. Now there are only 13 cars on the racetrack. At least in my experience, I've seen races as low as 11 cars finishing. We may be on a similar rate today. Mon has opened up a nice little gap on Basilio here. Sasha runs a little wide. Iridisa has gotten by Gusty, so Iridisa making a Lewis Hamilton-esque charge to the front, and now he's going to have clean track ahead of him for a little bit. He might actually be able to fight for the fastest on lap time of the day. Now Casilio is actually closed in just a little bit on Mon. He has, I think he had DRS open, but he's now within a second of Mon here. He might be able to make something happen if Mon makes a little bit of a mistake. Well, a little bit farther back, Jono and Cargo continue their battle. The medium tires for Cargo are ahead, but those hards are going to be the real beneficiary here as longer and longer this goes on. And as they continue about, they have a little bit of time to do this, but not too much because Iridisa is flying. He's already only about 3.5 seconds out from these two here. Meanwhile, at the front, Gazilio is just half a second behind Mon. He's going to be close enough. He'll be in DRS range on this next little straight. Will he be able to make anything of it? DRS opens up on that Red Bull. Nothing yet. Can he stay close enough to open up DRS in the front straight, though? That's the next question. He's fallen just a bit out. He's about 7/10 of a second out. Now he's closing it in just a bit. Widens just a little bit more. But the DRS zone there was about 0.8 of a second. DRS is over on the Red Bull Honda. Down the front straightaway. Will he be able to make anything happen? Mon tries to cut off the advantage of the draft and goes right up against the inside pit lane. Casilio not close enough to do anything yet. He's in striking distance, but striking distance is very obviously not the same as overtaking distance. This is the closest he's been yet for a while, less than half a second. Power down. He sticks the nose of the car out just a bit to get some fresh air on the wing. This is the battle for a lead here. There are other battles going on the track, but this one has a lot of potential here. Going into Sector 2 now. Iridisa continuing his rapid ascent up through the field. Gazilio tried desperately to go pole to victory, although it would be a very difficult victory. He still needs to overtake this Mercedes that's ahead of him. This is one of the closest battles we've seen for the race win here in 3. He's only 6/10 out as they entered into turn 1 this time. There's definitely 6 laps to go. A little bit farther back in the field, there are battles going on. Iridisa has caught the Dono Cargo battle. And he's got soft tires, but they already have 5 laps on him. Will he have enough time and enough tires left to make something happen on these cars? He's caught behind the McLaren for the moment. Closes right in on the rear tires, but there wasn't any room for him to make anything happen there. Now Cargo's actually starting to pull away from Dono a bit. Now he has 12 laps on the mediums and Dono's on hard, with 17 laps on the hards. He's going to be running over half the race on those hard tire compounds. I think both Cargo and Dono are going to be exhausted when it comes to tire wear by the end of the event. Dono trying to be defensive against Iridisa. Iridisa has the inside line. They're still neck and neck here. Dono has the third lane of choice, but he's going to give it away. So now Iridisa, after spinning on the before they came to the restart, is back in it. Now here he comes, the McLaren, back on the power, going down the straightaway, and the Renault McLaren briefly had fifth place back. He's still there. He's still pinching him on the outside line, but as the power goes down, Iridisa's going to pull out of it. But while they are fighting, Cargo was able to open up a nice little gap on them. Meanwhile, at the front, Gazilio is behind Mons still. Gazilio's tires are slightly more worn than Mons. Gazilio has run roughly half of this race on that set of tires. Mons has done almost the exact same thing. Can Gazilio do anything to XRL Mon? 9/10 of a second difference as they went through the DRS zone. The gap seems to open just a little bit this time between the two. Gazilio's really good in some of the slower corners. 8/10 of a gap. 7/10, 6/10, it's dropping. He's got DRS open, but he's only able to drop it to about 0.56 second gap. 4 laps to go here at Zandvoort. Cargo has caught Sasha, so Cargo might be able to make a fight for the third step on the podium here. But while they run the risk of battling, Iridisa is back there. He's about 3.5 seconds out from him. He might be able to close in and steal 4th from one of these guys if they end up spending too much time battling. Meanwhile, back at the front. And there's another battle going on. Here we are, side by side, Sasha, Cargo, neck and neck. Cargo's ahead. Cargo is going to overtake Sasha, and Sasha, who has been in the top 4 all day, is going to fall back to 4th place. And while they are battling, it enabled Iridisa to come into racing distance. But here's the thing, Sasha's going to be close enough. He should be able to open up DRS on the straight and might be able to fight back against Cargo. He wants that third spot on the podium, and the more they fight, the happier Iridisa becomes, because he might be able to get back into as high as even 3rd position. Nothing yet. But Iridisa is there. It's going to be a 3-way battle for 3rd, and there's still a 2-car battle at the front, but Mon is opening up a little gap on Derzilo. Here's on board with Iridisa. He's right behind Cargo, right behind Sasha. It's 3 laps to go here at Zandvoort. Can Iridisa get the car back on the podium in time? Can Sasha get back on the podium? Can Cargo hold on to the podium? All 3 of these cars are on different tire wears, and the tires on all their cars have got to be extremely exhausted. XRL Devil in 12th is going to go ahead and pit, but he's going to get a 5-second penalty for speeding the pit lane. That might enable Whippy to get over him. Cargo, Andre, and Iranisa all go over the line just for a brief second. They're not over the line, over the curve just for a brief second. And they're all going to be within DRS striking zone of each other as they come onto the straightaway. Gazilio, 21 laps on the tires. Mon, 19 laps. Sasha Andre on the more inside line. He's got DRS open, but so does Iranisa. Iranisa's right underneath the rear wing of him, and he's going to make a dive. He's going to try and take it. Sasha wants to fight back, but he can't do anything. The Patronus Mercedes is third, is fourth now. Will he be able to overtake Cargo and make it a 1-3 Mercedes finish after he spun out with less than half the race to go? It's 2 laps to go. Can he do anything to Cargo? Sasha is still there. He might still be able to make something happen if Iranisa makes a mistake. Cargo has been absolutely amazing on those medium tires, but he's gone almost half the race on those tires as well. They have got to be hurting him badly right now. Gazilio has fallen off more from Mon. It looks like Mon might be able to wrap up this victory here. These 3 cars continue to battle. Iranisa is right there behind Cargo. Can he do anything about him? 90-degree corner here. They're going to be coming down to the white flag this time by. White flag by Mon and Gazilio. Gazilio, again, close enough to use DRS, not close enough to make it into an overtake. Iranisa was there. He's going to look to the outside of Cargo. There's not much room, but he's going to try and put something down. He wants to make something happen, and he wants to make something happen fast. This is the battle for a final step on the podium. Right down the line, he's right under that rear wing. He's going to have to back off a bit so he doesn't end up running into him, honestly. He's going to end up in the dirt for just a second. Gazilio right there behind Mon. Cargo's got a 3-second time penalty. That might be enough. Iranisa may just need to hold on behind Cargo to make something happen. DRS zone again. Gazilio has it open. He's able to be in striking distance, but he can't make anything of that striking distance. Iranisa backs off the back of Cargo just a little bit. The soft tire compounds have got to be hurting on him. The medium tire compounds have got to be hurting on Cargo. And if they make a mistake in the final 2 corners, Sasha might be able to capitalize. At the line, Mon and Gazilio are going to take it. But at the line, for the battle for a 3rd position, it does not look like Iranisa's going to be able to capitalize. Cargo will take on 3rd. Iranisa 4th. Sasha is going to actually jump into 3rd because he did not have time penalties. So Iranisa actually ends up finishing 5th. Jono is 6th, and Blake is 7th. And Sasha is going to take 8th, as Blake actually is going to fall to 9th. Here comes XRL Snake. Is he going to hold on to 10th at least? Yes, so that is your post-paying positions, as a significant amount of the field ends up being reshuffled post-race due to penalties. Here comes Fine Wallaby. He didn't make qualifying. He'll be 11th. Unserved penalty. 5-second time penalty for Wallaby. But he's so far ahead of Whippy, I don't think it's going to end up being too much of an issue. So Whippy here in 12th, and then Devil will be 13th. That was a crazy event, and my throat is honestly a bit sore, and I've got to do this again for X2 shortly after. But we're getting word that XRL Gusty may be the winner. What? So wait, was it Gusty or was it, what? Now I'm more than a little bit confused. So was it XRL Gusty or was it, I thought for sure the Mercedes won that. There may have been a penalty that I might not have noticed. It would have been a massive one. I'm not 100% sure if this is who actually won or not. There's a little bit of confusion on my end because I don't know if the game's properly recorded who won or not. But I'm going to try and talk to our race winner, or both of them, because it's either XRL Gusty or XRL Mon. I want to talk to both of them and see who actually got it there. Excuse me. Trying to figure out who actually won that. The real disappointing part, though, is XRL Desilio, without doubt, is going to end up... Yeah, it's saying that Gusty was like 10 seconds ahead of Mon, and that doesn't seem right. I'm pretty sure Mon was the one who won that race. Alright, here we are. So, in the party with us, XRL Mon. So, Mon, I believe you won that event. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe you did. There's a little bit of confusion regarding what the final end result of the race is. But you did appear to cross the line first. So, congratulations. What do you have to say about your race today?
Hello again. Thanks. Yeah, the game is broken, so... But I did win. It was a very tough race at the end with HCL right behind me. I just wasn't sure if I could win, but here we are.
You sure made that work with that X and Indianapolis style moves on the front straightaway, diving all the way against the pit lane attenuator wall just to break the draft. Very, very clever move. Was there any point when you actually got the lead over him due to the way pit stops fell? Did you think you had a chance at winning then, or would it not really come to the realization, I'm going to win until like the last lap or so?
Yeah, just after the safety car, I was very lucky, and then I got the first place, and I was thinking, well, maybe I can win.
Well, anyways, congratulations on another victory. Really bringing home the power in those Mercedes powertrains. Are you anything else you want to say before we move on?
No, thanks to you.
All right, hey, congratulations on another victory.
Amazing.
It's amazing watching you guys. I'm always glad to be here with you guys. But congratulations on that very, very impressive victory and very well earned. And we look forward to seeing you possibly in the victory lane more going forward.
Yeah, I hope so. My man.
Alright, so that's going to wrap up the day. A very chaotic race. And it seems like a big incident with a lot of crashes, along with a lot of DNFs and time penalties. Just a very, very chaotic event all the way through. Really reminded me of Yas Marina back in X3 Season 1. But that's going to be it for that. We're going to start winding down the broadcast here because very shortly I'm going to have to go and do broadcasting for the X2 guys at the same circuit. So that will be interesting. We're going to be watching a different group of people there, so I will definitely be looking forward to that. But to everyone who stuck with us and actually was here on the track with us, thank you very much for watching. This was a very, very impressive thing to broadcast from start to end. I've been Saint Leader 13, and big, big thanks and props to the Extreme Racing League for letting me come in and do the broadcasting for the X3 series. Absolutely love watching these guys duke it out because there's never, ever, ever a boring race here. I know Monaco's supposed to come up in a few weeks. Not next week, but Monaco's supposed to come up in a few weeks. I'm honestly going to be very interested to see what they can make out of Monaco. But anyways, have a good time, everyone, and we will see you later. Farewell.